Today I'm going to make this dish called ginger green onion sauce with this chicken that is boiled in chicken stock. And I have a chicken, it's about 5-6 pounds, and I bring it to completely room temperature, so it's been sitting out here for like a morning, because I don't want the center is still cold. Nothing worse that when I cut it open still had red color. So I remove the chicken butt and remove the fat, and then give it a good thorough rinse. I completely remove all the chicken fat because I do not want it to eat fat chicken. So I give it a good rinse, and after that, and I'm going to use salt to rub the chicken. Sprinkle generous salt all over the chicken, front and the back, chicken breast and the chicken back. Just rub it really good. Give a really good massage. Wash my hand. And while the salt working on the chicken, so I have about 8 cups of chicken broth. I never use water to cook my chicken. I repeatedly mentioned in my previous any of my video. So this is 4 cups in one of the boxes, carton. So 4 cups, and then I bring another 4 cups. So I bring the 8 cups of chicken broth on a high heat, and bring the chicken broth to start boiling, and then I put a chicken in there for about 35 to 40 minutes. You know, most of the time 35 minutes will be enough, but sometimes you may need 40 minutes. So I'm just waiting for the chicken broth to get start boiling. As you can tell, the chicken broth start boiling, and I'm gonna put the salted chicken. I just salt the chicken. Put the entire chicken breast down into the chicken broth, boil the chicken broth, and then cover it and bring it back to boil, because when the chicken goes in, it will reduce the temperature. Bring it back to boil, and at this point, I strongly advise don't walk away, because when the water when the chicken broth start boiling, it will boil over. So I always stand right here, wait until it start boiling. So the chicken broth start boiling with the chicken, so I reduced it to the point that it will not boil over, but still boiling, but not boil over. And then you don't want to turn it too low that it doesn't provide enough heat. So therefore, for about 35 minutes, this is not a pretty big chicken, so I'm going to set it for 35 minutes and let it cook. It's 35 minutes. While the chicken is cooking, and I need to prepare the ginger and the green onion. The first thing, I scrape the ginger. You can tell I have 2 of them already. I have 3 of them already done. Initially, they're all connected together. It's really hard to scrape the ginger skin, so you can break them apart because you're gonna grate them eventually. So this is the method that I learned. And you see on the TV, they all peeling it. If you peel them, you end up losing lots of ginger. So I did it, I just scrape the skin off. So this is a pretty good piece I can demonstrate. Just scrape it, use a knife, hold it like this, and then keep scraping it. until all the skins are gone. Sometimes they have a big chunk of skin can come off. This is a very common dish in Hong Kong and Macau area, and they sell it on the street. And here, I didn't see any restaurant, or most of the restaurant, unless you go to Chinatown in some big city, have it, and most of the little city, like where I live here, doesn't have those kind of dishes. And the ginger green onion sauce, you don't have to just go for chicken. You can cook a bundle of them like what I do right now. I cook a bundle of them and save it for other time, for other like turkey or ham and stuff like that. And so I'm going to finish these. After I finish scraping all the ginger skin, and I'm going to, I don't know what is this called, like completely grated the ginger. These things, I don't know where did I get it from, but it comes very handy because it collects all the fine grated ginger and the juice at this container. So I have quite a bit of need to be grate, so I'm gonna keep doing these and show you what I do the next step. Okay, this is the last piece of ginger that I need to grate. Grate is already scraped the skin off ginger. And sometimes they have these like a hairy looking thing. Just keep scraping and don't worry about it. That's what I do. Just keep scraping it. You do have to have some muscle to keep pushing it, because I always cook a little bit extra, because whatever little bit left over, whatever half left over, and I freeze them for the next meal. Actually, I have some in the refrigerator, but I thought I want to make a video, so I go ahead and get it done today to show how I did this dish. So you can tell I've completely finished grating the ginger, and then when you turn these things over, there's a bunch of ginger stuck at the bottom. So you don't throw them away, because these are like a gold. Because you worked out hard, you don't want to waste them. Okay, so you can tell I have quite a bit of ginger, and then there's also some juice at the bottom. So I always move them to one end. And the juice, I use ice maker thing. My son had this Lego ice mold, so I use it to make this ginger juice ice cube. Those I save them for other dishes, other Chinese dishes ask for ginger. Actually, most of the time when they ask ginger, is asked for ginger juice, not ginger. So whenever I make these dishes, I end up able to save some of the juice as ice cube. And by the way, you don't want it to straight put it into the dish, put it cooking, because it's too much moist. It will speck all the oil out. This is the last time I make the ginger and green onion. Those are the 2 ice cubes that I have left. And I got my son trained how to save this ginger juice. And then he also knows that whenever he needs to cook something, he needs that ginger juice. He knows how to get it from the refrigerator, from this ice cube. Okay, I think that's dry enough. And here is a little bit too much overfill, so I'm gonna put it in. And then you put it in a freezer and freeze them for any other Chinese dishes or Asian dish that most of the time they call for ginger. Mostly what they mean is calling for ginger juice. After I got the ginger portion done, I have a 3 bunch of green onion. Somehow these weeks the green onion is super expensive. They are $1 a bunch. Used to $1 for 3 of them. Today they are super expensive. So I need to prepare the green onion portion. I generally rinse them because sometimes they do have sand in it. So I rinse them. And I cut the root part off. Some people save them to regrow them, and I don't have a green thumb, so in my family there's a joke that if I become a farmer, everybody is going to be starved to death. So maybe I'll give it a try this time to grow them, but it was never really successful for me because I ignore them and end up they all dying on me. So you remove the root part. I'm gonna save them this time, and then you have to rinse them because there's some dead part. You need to remove them. Like this, you remove them. Then you chop them. You finally chop them. So you chop them like this. Chop them pretty fine. You're gonna use both the green part and the white part. So you just chop them, and sometimes when you chop enough, and they're like an onion, they will make you cry too. And I will show you. This is the first part. I'm gonna get it done, chop them. And I will continue finish the rest and then show you how much I end up about. This is all the green onion that I cut. Looks like a lot, but it's not going to be that much. After it's cooked, it's all wilted. And then since the chopping board it didn't touch any raw meat, so I'm going to dry it, rinse it, dry it for cutting the chicken when the chicken is done. And you have probably seen me have some video always had some candle in it. So one time I watched some cooking show from Martha Stewart, and she said if you put a candle when you're cutting an onion, a green onion, some kind of garlic, a huge amount, you let up a candle, you will burn the film. It really worked out for me. You may want to give it a try. So the chicken is done cooking. So I'm going to let it sit for a little bit while I'm cooking the green onion. So I'll move it to across the island. I'm going to start cooking the green onion. So even the chicken is not 100% ready, it's steeping, and you can still cook the green onion, ginger and green onion, and give it about cover the bottom of the frying pan. You need quite a little bit of oil, because those ginger and green onion eat up a lot of oil. You also need salt. You don't need pepper, you do need salt. So let the oil get hot. While the oil is getting hot, you put the grated ginger. You squeeze out all the juice. And put it in the oil. And once the oil kind of semi start getting hot, you have to turn it down some. So like right now, it stopped sizzling. You may turn it to medium heat because you don't want to totally burn the ginger. My stove, this area is always hot, so you may want to rotate the ginger to a different area every now and then. So that area of the ginger, it's not going to be overcooked. See, all the oil is already absorbed. So you may want to put a little bit more. And then you put all the green onion inside. And then you start mixing the ginger and the green onion in the oil. Somehow the combination of the ginger and the green onion had a very strong aromatic. So whenever I cook this dish, one of my neighbor's kids love these dishes. And whenever he walk into the house, smell these, he will not leave. He will stay here, eat, and until we serve dinner, and then he goes home. And one time, I think it was his 10th birthday. He said, I would love to have these as his birthday meal. So I end up cooking these for him. But it's a very simple dish. It's not a complicated dish. It does require some. So you can see the onion is already kind of wilted. Then you sprinkle salt. Now ginger had a little sweet taste, so you can kind of a little bit heavy hand on the salt, and it's done. It's very quick. So you want the green onion kind of still have the green color. You don't want to cook it to the point that it turned brown. So this is good. And then I have a feeling it's not enough salt, so I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more salt, because like what I said, the ginger had a tendency is on a little sweet side, so had a hint of sweet, not like a super sweet, you know. So this is done. So I let it. I'm gonna prepare the chicken. The chicken, I'm gonna take it out from the broth. So I'm going to take the chicken out of the chicken broth. My sister bought me these two. And then I use the ice cube, pour all over the chicken to start the cooking process. And somehow when you do that, the chicken meat is more tenderized. So, and I'm gonna put more ice on the chicken. So now I need to cook the rice. I use the chicken broth. I wash 3 cups of rice, just jasmine long grain rice. And I reuse the chicken stock that I cooked the chicken, pour until the mark says 3. What is 3? swirl around because some of the rice stuck in on the rice cooker's wall. And it looks like a little bit shy from 3. And I put it in the rice cooker, set it as and let it cook. Meanwhile, I'm gonna save these chicken stock for other usage, and while we were waiting for the chicken to cool down. And the rice, besides add the chicken broth, you also need to add this called a Hainan sauce. You can get it from the Asian store. And for 3 cups of rice, you need probably 2 tablespoons of it. And then you mix with the rest of the rice and let them cook it. And you have these special spices in it, but mainly that spices mixed with the chicken broth. That's what makes the rice taste good. At the moment, the rice is not ready yet. There's a few more minutes needs to be cooked. The rice is almost done, so I need to cut the chicken. I'm gonna just cut the breast portion of it because cut the Alright, so just waiting for them to put the rice together. So for plating, and you get a bowl of rice. And put some chicken. And put some green onion and sauce. And there you go. The chicken with ginger green onion sauce.